Hello, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will be surviving 100 days in Hypixel Skyblock. I make tons of money, go adventuring, and get a beautiful farm, but you have to wait for that. Sorry if the day counter isn't completely accurate, since I had to do it all while writing the script, and Skyblock's time continues without you, so I couldn't really base it off the days in the game too much. But anyways, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, a suggestion in the comments, and maybe even a subscription if you want 100 days. Anyways guys, on to the video. Day 1. I started off on my island as usual. I got wood, got stone, speed bridge like a boss, went farming, made some sales, and farmed some more. Days 2 to 4, I went to the weaponsmith and got myself an undead sword. I traveled over to the gold mine and wasted money on armor that would become useless later. I had no goal in mind here, just leveling up and exploring since it is my first time playing this game. I went to the deep caverns and got to the pigman's den. I went back, talked to the bartender and the slayer downstairs, and did some killing. I finished the bartender's mission and got some revenant flesh whilst I was doing the slayer quest. I unlocked some more health and access to level 2 of the slayer quest, which I most certainly wasn't ready for. After that, I replaced this man's worker of years and got this axe that gives me apples. I never used it. On days 5 to 8, I went to the park and got one of each wood type whilst wasting an hour doing this horrible race. I never did the 32 seconds, but I'd be able to beat it by the end of the 100 days. My internet crashed on day 4, just a neat fact. I got a grappling hook from some stranger after I asked for ways to go fast because of the race, and I don't deny gifts most times. I stored away some items on day 9 and did some farming, and look at that, I made myself a farm suit. I looked on hopelessly on the auction house at things I couldn't afford. I did a lot of farming and it gave me some extra health. A lot of day 10 was lost because I forgot to continue recording, but I went to the barn and got some more wheat and mob drops over there. I stored that back at the small and horrible base that I had. On day 11 I went back to the barn and deeper into the mushroom desert. I did all the collections there, sugarcane, cactus, mushrooms, rabbit meat, etc. Except of course, I didn't go fishing. And I never did in the 100 days. It may have been a mistake, but I don't know the fishing loot pool for Skyblock, so I never bothered. On day 12, I went back to the caverns and went down to Slime Hill without starting gang wars in the pigman den. After storing away my items, I unlocked the diamond reserve in the obsidian sanctuary. Not without constant death, however. Also, these diamond blocks I'm mining don't help me level up the diamond collection, and I didn't need that many diamonds, so it wasn't worth going for. Day 13, I did some quests in the hub and made myself an enchantment table. After that, on days 14 to 15, I accidentally stopped recording, but during that time, I did some more labor and I also bought some miner armor, so that gave me a protection bonus in the mines. Days 16 to 31 are jam-packed. I knocked my minion down a level, mined in the area that would get me killed. I went up to the lapis quarry and killed and killed and killed and killed and killed and killed and killed. It was a lot of deaths for the zombies and a lot of mining lapis. It was going to be a genocide once I got my looting, luck, scavenging, and fortune enchant. I got about 2 sets of lapis armor and sold some of the pieces and they were bought instantly. Like before I could even walk back to my island instantly. I don't use the lapis armor until I do more mass mining of lapis for XP bottles to enchant it, so it stays in the chest drying up for now. I can sum up the next 2.5 hours in 4 words: mining, massacre, and enchanting. I sold a bunch of lapis armor, did a couple of enchants on the armor I wanted to be mine, and oh yeah, did I mention I made a lapis minion? Anyways, I also made a cobble gen. But at this point, I forgot about the builder. Before that, on days 32 to 33, I went to the gold mine and got cobblestone. I tried facing the revenant horror too, but I saw my stupidity and immediately logged off. Days 34 to 41, I got this really cool OBS plugin that gives me a sound notification that tells me whether I'm recording or not. And it was a lifesaver since I frequently forget to start recording. I decided to stay in my lane and do the tier 1 revenant horror and easily defeated them for some slayer levels and flesh, which I never used. I do think that slayer levels are important, but you know what's more important? Base renovations. I had a plan for this big rectangular storage room because of all the stone I got from those 3 hours of mining. The spooky festival started and I just ignored it for the first 10 minutes and then I decided to check it out. I could never find the mega bat, and the one time I did, someone had a hacker bow, so I couldn't do anything about it. But before that, I was in the graveyard struggling against witches, trigger cheaters, Jerry, And myself? Yeah, some phantom mirror type thing made a copy of me. I've got to say, I'm impressed. They've got every last detail of me, and it even got a kill on someone. I accidentally paused my recording about 30 minutes into the festival and lost the footage of the megabat I found, but I got no hits on it anyways. It was in the caverns, and while I was there, I got an XP share core. That was $1 million in the bank instantly, so I got a huge jump start on being able to flip on the auction house. At the time, I didn't know it was worth $1 million, so I didn't make that $1 million until a lot later into the series. I also nearly died plenty of times. Just look at how much damage this guy did to me. After the festival, I made a minion section and put all my lapis minions there. I have a lot of max lapis minions since you need lapis to make XP bottles. Once you get rich enough, you just buy them off the bazaar. So I kind of got my jungle axe unfairly because someone dropped it in the lobby in front of the bank, and I just thought that if they cared enough about it, they'd just ask for it back in chat. So I kind of stole the jungle axe I got, but I'm going to give it away in the next 200 days because while I'm editing, I just feel really bad for it. I then went to the dark thicket and got a ton of wood. I also unlocked a portal to the dark thicket that I never made since I never went there ever again. I also unlocked the bazaar, and the first thing I did was buy some e-pearls for a portal I would make later. But I bought the e-pearls with the money I made from selling my oak wood that I was collecting from my base, but I never used it for building until the end of the 100 days. Day 42 to 53 are big days for me. There was a message in chat that said they were giving away free stuff at the map. I had to go to the map because free stuff. Then this person called Oliver is a bot decided that they were quitting the game and decided to give me a lot of their stuff. They gave me a bunch of minions, pets, random things, and this really cool bow. I'm thankful for Oliver since he really did help my lapis production with the tier 8 minion. This isn't one of my other accounts, and I don't profile boost. Just a nice person on Skyblock. Insane, I know. Thanks, Oliver. We exchanged Discord and they're a cool friend. So lastly, thank you, Oliver. Skyblock's a grind. But off of the sob story, I made a storage area which I don't think looks the best, but it works. A minion area and a portal area that doesn't have any portals at. I also bought this terracotta at the builder after remembering his existence. I also made more lapis minions. Did I tell you I need lapis? Oliver had this really cool bow with infinite quiver 5, which makes you use half as many arrows. Days 54 to 56, I decided to get glowstone instead of torches for the storage area. So I went to the spider's den, did a little killing there, and then I went over to the nether for the first time. I got the fire talisman from Oliver, and let me tell you, this thing is OP against blazes. I could walk up to blazes and punch them to death. Maybe even give them some roses because I take no damage from them. I loved it. The wither skeletons were different though because even though I one-shotted them, I wanted to avoid them because it felt like I was playing Five Nights at Freddy's. I also killed some magmas and gas with a really cool bow I got, and guess what? It had the auto-aim thing the guy from earlier had. I ended up just buying the glowstone on the bazaar since it was a lot easier with $1 million in the bank. Days 57 to 64 while I wasn't recording, I was looking around to see if I could make end rods since it would have made for much better lighting than glowstone. I did a lot of things in these 7 days though. I made a bunch of chests from a lot of the wood I got, but both the dark oak and the regular oak weren't enough, so I had to get a bunch more wood. And sometime earlier, I got minion storages. It was nice for production. I also needed to get tripwire hooks because I needed them to make trap chests to put the chests right next to each other. I also improved the minion area and made it out of stone brick. I had to unlock the cow minion because I needed the leather for my item frames to mark my chest. I also filled my lapis chest with lapis blocks all the way, so that felt good. On day 65 to 68, the lapis was finally put to use as I was able to enchant my armor. I bought a few Growth 5 and Prop 5 books on the auction house, which you saw me put on my armor. I also moved all my stuff to the storage area so I had a clean center island for whatever uses I needed. I had some spare bottles and I used them to make some haste and strength potions. I was gonna need them for my test. Day 69 to 70. I did it. I tested out my lapis armor and it worked pretty well. And I also found a small bug. If you had a set of armor that gave you less total health than another, and you switched to that armor, you would have full health with it. And then switch back to the armor you were using. you were at instant full health, so Hypixel may want to check that one out. Or not. I mean, I personally enjoy the feature and it ruins no aspect of the game. But anyways, the test was a success, and I am now able to be down in the Obsidian Sanctuary without having to worry about dying instantly. I also went up to the redstone area because I needed to get some for my portal to the caverns. Day 71 to 73, I got quite lucky when I reforged my armor because one of the pieces I used it on actually got wise. I didn't want to waste my money on more reforges, so I was pretty glad about my result. I also killed some spiders and collected gravel and got this pet from a furry. I also outlined my island with glowstone and stone bricks. I made my portal area, and after almost running out of redstone, I managed to place my portal in the right area. I also placed the hub portal right across from it. I took the diamonds from my chest and used them to make diamond minions up to tier 2, but I needed to get more diamonds to make them tier 4. And on day 74 and 75, I did just that. Mined some diamonds, used my bow some more, and just went for the block since I was needing diamonds. Days 76 to 81 were a tad bit different. I decided to try my hand at flipping, but a little before that, I had bought a new set of armor, Hardened Diamond, and I gave it the enchant and some reforges, and I ended up with wise on some pieces. I wanted to get the upgraded version that needed refined material. I didn't have the money for it on the bazaar, so I had to get some. Flipping is a really good method to get a bunch of money relatively fast. I looked at a tutorial on the wiki, and it said to buy auctions that were ending soon to get the items for cheap, and then sell them for higher on Buy It Now. And so I did. I withdrew 100k coins, and I bid. I got some Ember, Glaciite, Obsidian, Skeleton Grunt, Lapis, and Skeletor armor pieces to name a few. I bought so much stuff that I couldn't even sell it all at once. I put these all back on sale at their respective prices, and I made about a 300 to 400k profit from it, so that was quite nice. On days 82 to 85, I decided to visit the winter wasteland known as Jerry's Workshop. I used my grappling hook, struggled with the snowman, flew my chicken around in a weird minigame, and got a bunch of gifts. I gave them to some random hub I found with like 3 people on it, and I got some decent stuff. I also received a bunch of gifts. I also got this really nice looting 4 book from a gift, and I'm keeping it for later. Day 86 to 93 were mostly just random things. I went to the spiders then, and I got some gravel after a day of blind searching. Yeah, I decided to try my hand at bazaar flipping. I heard you could buy stuff from NPCs and sell them back to the bazaar man. I got some ice and packed ice and did some sell offers with them. The ice wouldn't be completely sold until later, so once I gave my best shot at bazaar flipping, and after trying to flip bones, I completely lost money on it since I had no idea what I was doing. On day 94, a thought came into my mind after watching one of Noel Z's flipping videos. One of his methods was buying lower level enchanted books and combining them into a bigger, normally tier 5 version of it. I bought a few rabbit pets and flipped them. I also sold some of the silverfish pets I received from Oliver. Thanks, man. I then decided to do it. I brought Prop 5, Growth 5 books, and then I bought the Rejuvenate books that I would need. It was highly competitive in the bidding section, so I decided to do Buy It Now, and I scouted for cheap Rejuvenate books. So what I basically did was I bought the first few that were in the auction house, let it refresh, and then continued until I got the books I needed. I combined the Growth 5, Prop 5, and Rejuvenate 5 together, and put it on the auction house for 1.5 million coins at a cost of getting it at around 550k. Day 95 to 97, I emptied my minions and went mining. I wanted to get to the dwarven mines, but I messed up my counting and confused myself by only getting 3 of each enchanted material instead of 10. I decided on diamonds, lapis, and redstone to get for rice, and once I got to the dwarven mines, I mined 1 mineral and left. I never came back. When I came back, I thought that since mineral was new, people wanted it. So I tried flipping some, and I had no clue what I was doing. I was basically a blind squirrel, so yeah, I lost a bunch of money. On day 98, I was getting really close to the end of the 100 days, and I decided I wanted a farm to make some money. I decided that enchanted pumpkins looked profitable, and I began my last project. A 16-row melon farm with lighting. Here's my plan. I was originally meant to be 32 rows, but I wouldn't finish that in time, and I wasn't even going to finish the 16 rows in time. Besides that, here's how the layout would work. a row of pumpkin seeds, dirt for the pumpkins, dirt for the pumpkins, pumpkin seeds. There is water on either side of these dirt rows. There would also be a checkerboard pattern of glowstone 3 blocks above with slabs 1 block out on each side for the ability to walk between the rows of the pumpkins. Each row is 64 blocks long, and I believe that it would work well for good growth. I was so bad at making it for the first half, it took like 10 days to make 8 rows, and then the last 8 rows took 2 days. Well, that's it. That's my 100 days of Hypixel Skyblock. It was a blast, but it was a grind, and I'm glad I was able to do this for you guys. I'd like you guys to know that this was about a month in the making, so I'm glad this will finally be able to come out into the public. If you made it this far, can you guys please subscribe, because this was a journey. Maybe even a like. Before I get ahead of myself, thanks. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.